Contrarians, welcome back to the Encrypted Capital recap for Friday, July 2nd. First off, I'm going to start with this gentleman here called Max Keiser. I think I'm going to start a new series called Schiller of the Day, and he is the star today. This guy is a very, very smart dude. He started the Hollywood Stock Exchange. He's had a show on RT for a very, very long time going over investing. I used to actually follow him quite a bit when he was talking about how bullish he was on gold and silver. But now he sounds like an absolute idiot. And I know he's not an idiot, so the only conclusion I can come to is that he's shilling Bitcoin and stocking up on other assets. Let's take a listen to what came out of this guy's stupid mouth today. Actually, this wasn't today, this was a couple days ago. But take a look. Listen.
The altcoins, as they're called, whether it's BCH or BSV or Ether or Cardano or XRP, they're all now have been pretty much shown the exit because they claim to do things that Bitcoin can't do. But now Bitcoin has proven that it can do everything any of these things can do, but it can do it a lot better. So there's no use case for those altcoins whatsoever. I don't think many of them will be around in 2 or 3 years' time at all.
All right. First off, did we see how he was looking down like he was reading a script when he mentioned XRP? He definitely did. Also, Bitcoin can do everything Ether can? Really? When was Bitcoin processing smart contracts? When was Bitcoin settling transactions in 4 seconds like XRP? Guy literally makes 0 cents and he's smart. So for him to say that Bitcoin can do everything these other currencies can do is a bold-faced lie. And I can only think that it's because he's a paid shill. End of story. There's no other way around it. That's exactly what it is. This guy can open up the internet and research any of these coins and realize Bitcoin is old technology. It's a piece of junk. The transactions are slow. The network gets clogged up. And let's not forget this gentleman over here who's been making the rounds, Quincy. We mentioned him in our newsletter yesterday. We're going to dive into what he thinks about Bitcoin, because he's already shown us what he thinks about XDC, XLM, XRP, and how they work. He's a developer that works on these platforms, and he's probably the most insightful guy I've seen when it comes to explaining how all of these currencies tie together and how they're not competing. They're actually not even playing the same sport, as he said. This is a video from Reborn13. You guys should check out his channel. Got a lot of good content on there. But this interview, I probably watched 4 or 5 times now. And I highly recommend that you guys watch it as well, because it'll really open up your eyes into exactly how this new financial system is going to take place, what it's going to take place on, how businesses are going to transact on the blockchain. Absolutely epic video. So let's go. We're going to cut to this video right here where he talks about the issues that he sees with Bitcoin and its scaling problem. So let's have a listen.
You sort of hit the nail on the noggin, because I'm about to make a world-shattering claim about Bitcoin. I'm dead serious, and people need to clip this. People need to talk about this, because I need somebody smart to help me figure out the math problem to really show people the scaling problem of this. But basically, the general gist of it is Bitcoin can't scale past 10% of the global population, because it would cost more power to generate than there is power on the planet to run the Bitcoin network. Wow. And because of the exponential scaling problem of the power consumption of Bitcoin, it will hit a brick wall where it comes down to either you're going to have the electrical infrastructure run the Bitcoin network, or it's going to run everything else, because it's not going to be able to run both, because it's an exponential scaling problem. And you can see the problem play out now. Less than 0.01% of the global population even talks about Bitcoin or even owns Bitcoin, yet it literally consumes a little less than 1% of the global energy consumption. If you scale that up, and it scales exponentially, a little less than 1% of the global use case using Bitcoin would end up being around a little under 8% of the total amount of energy that the entire world would produce. And if they went up to, so if you had the entire 10%, if you had 10% of the entire global population use Bitcoin, it would cost over 50% of all the energy output outputted by the entire planet to run that 10% or to run that the Bitcoin network for that 10% of the population that's using it.
That is insane.
Yeah, it's an exponential scaling problem, and people get all upset about it because they're like, oh, well, all these other systems use all this other energy, and it's like the Bitcoin network has it's an exponential energy scaling problem, and it's going to break at some point. And we saw this in Iran. Iran had power outages because the electrical infrastructure couldn't handle the Bitcoin miners mining how much power that it was. Imagine, it's almost like this. Imagine trying to run too much power out of your house and you blow a fuse. Well, imagine doing that on an exponential scale because the Bitcoin network requires more and more and more power to run the same network for the same amount of quality that you're getting out of the network. And if anything, it gets worse because the network gets crowded and slow, causing the power usage to go through the frame. It's insane. Yeah. And yeah, people need to talk about this. And I'm trying to figure out the math on this because it's not too hard, but I want to really show like the scaling, like this percent to this percent, this percent to this percent. Yeah. But that's the thing. If you look at 10%, if you scale out what it would take for 10% of the world to use it, you'd realize halfway through the math problem that it would literally take up more power than there is. Like this, you'd be going like, damn, this is a serious amount of zeros that I'm laying out here. How much power can be produced? And that's the thing. People already know this. It takes just as much power to run the Bitcoin network as it does to run the entire Netherlands. People like to make excuses like it's green energy. That is a bold-faced lie. That is you can do the math on it. Do the math on it, how much power would run the Bitcoin network, and then how much math that you can get out of a really, really, really efficient green energy, whatever. Do the 100% most efficient green energy power way, whatever, and scale that up to the entire Bitcoin network and tell me how much of that you need, because it's not possible. Hands down, not possible. And that's the thing. It's one of those things too, where it's going to hit a flat out brick wall where there's not enough power to basically maintain the network because it's scaling to it's basically the amount of power needed to run to run a little bit more people on the network scales exponentially. That's why you could have run Bitcoin Node on your laptop and earned a couple Bitcoin back in 2009, but now you essentially need a supercomputer server farm just to be able to be contending to even maybe mine enough Bitcoin to be economically viable. So it's like. There's a huge scaling problem. That's not even the only problem that there is. You got to remember the miners have to keep mining the Bitcoin, so it gets exponentially more expensive to mine the Bitcoin. So that means there's a hypothetical minimum amount that Bitcoin has to maintain, or it wouldn't be economically viable for the miners to mine the Bitcoin anymore. So let's say that price was $8,000. So if the Bitcoin price fell below that price, what would happen is no matter how much the miners mine Bitcoin, they still wouldn't turn a profit from the amount of money that they would have gotten from the Bitcoin, basically meaning that it would be non-profitable at all for any miner to operate on the network. That means that Bitcoin has to maintain at least a minimum price. This is a hypothetical price. We don't know the price. This is a hypothetical price. If Bitcoin drops 90%, can it handle that? Can the miners keep mining Bitcoin and be economically viable? This is a hypothetical price. But that's the problem. If it drops below that price, no miners can make any money on the network anymore, basically rendering entirely useless. So now, that doesn't mean the Bitcoin network flashes to zero. That means you have an instant consolidation event where somebody out there that's willing to pay the money to run the Bitcoin network will basically run the entire network because everybody else would just lose money operating on it. Or whoever's willing to operate on the network at a loss will basically be the ones consolidating the network because nobody else you'd just be losing money just operating a Bitcoin node. See what I mean?
All right, as you can tell, that gentleman Quincy is very, very smart, and I'm sure a lot of you guys that are in the XRP community have already seen this video. It's kind of been making its way around the different YouTube channels, so definitely look into XDC, look into XRP. We actually talked about XDC in our trade update in our newsletter, which you guys can subscribe to. We have a free version and a paid version. This was for the paid version. You guys can unlock this. Basically our trade update, which we released 13 hours ago, and if we go ahead and take a look at the XDC chart here, it's up significantly since we released that. I mean, you're talking 16% for the day just in the last 24 hours. I think we talked about it somewhere like around 7 or 8 cents, so would have been a quick 20% on your money. We are anticipating it trying to get up into this zone here, anywhere between 20 and 30 cents. So if you guys want to support the channel, it's a great way to do so. Definitely helps us out and helps us bring you guys awesome content. So back to XDC. XDC runs on the Corda blockchain, and it's a blockchain that has no tokens, but it's a blockchain where we're finding a lot of businesses will be operating on, and they have certain designated tokens that will be utilized on this blockchain. The main one being XDC to issue contracts and to settle contracts. That's its own token. And then we have XRP and XLM. XRP will be used mainly by the banks to settle transactions on the Corda settler. And then we have XLM, Stellar Lumens, which will be used on the Corda settler as well to handle more peer-to-peer transactions. So if you guys want to go ahead and pull up, go to r3.com. You guys can read the white paper basically going over central bank digital currencies and innovations in payments. And wanted to point out, since Max Keiser wanted to say that Bitcoin can do everything, it absolutely cannot. It cannot settle in the time that XRP or XLM settle in, hands down. They even tried utilizing the Ethereum private network. This was one of their tests that they were running. This was back in March of 2016 for the Bank of Canada. This technology has been being built in the background for a very long time, and no one even knows about it yet. And they tried running Ethereum with Corda. And basically what happened was the proof of work consensus protocol, which is what Ethereum runs on, did not deliver the necessary settlement finality and low operational risk expected of core settlement systems. Very, very important. They actually tried using Ethereum. It also says a distributed ledger system that employed an alternative consensus model on the basis of a notary node that could deliver improvements in regard to settlement finality, scalability, and privacy. Basically what happened is they were having issues using Ethereum, which is why they are settling with XDC, XRP, and XLM. Very, very important. You guys go and do your research on this. Also have another article, Zinfin. This is XDC. They became the leading token of value on the Corda network thanks to the DASL crypto bridge. This was published on March 31st of this year. XDC is the leading token of value on Corda. You already have banks and large institutions using this technology. You guys even realize what's going on here. Look, 85% of Italian banks are exchanging interbank transfer data on Corda. This is absolutely mind-blowing. If you guys realize where you're at in this cycle and the amount of people that have no idea about what's going on right now, but now you guys do. You guys know exactly, and I say you guys, you ladies as well, you know exactly what's taking place right now. You know what's going on in the background. You know the tokens and coins that they will be using to facilitate these business-to-business payments. It's absolutely crazy. You guys should be very, very lucky you guys are in the space at this time, because I guarantee you no one knows what the hell XDC is. Very few people even know what XRP or XLM is. Yeah, maybe they've heard of them, but even so, such a small percentage of the population even knows how this technology is going to be utilized. You guys should be very thankful you're in the space right now. Look, R3 Corda now has a bridge to public blockchains with the arrival of Ethereum-based XDC. Former RBS bankers from blockchain startup built the bridge. XDC price still trading 10.3 cents. You can only find this, to my knowledge, on BitTrue and KuCoin if you're in the US. What else do we got here? R3's new Corda app supports payments in XRP cryptocurrency. This was December 5th, 2018. I know they went through some legal stuff with each other. You guys can research and learn more about that. I do know that they ended up settling, and I still believe that they are going to end up using XRP as the liquidity token for the Corda blockchain. Look, Ripple, XRP announces partnership with Bank of America, December 26, 2020. Can you guys see what's taking place? And ladies, can you see what's taking place right now, right in front of your eyes? These are the assets you need to be in, because I guarantee you, if what Quincy is saying about Bitcoin and how the network is going to get clogged up, and which we already are experiencing, that's not, I mean, you can literally see this taking place when there's a lot of trading and the volume's getting really hot and the price is shooting up. The network does get clogged up and you do pay a lot for transaction fees. But if you're using something like XRP or XLM, minimal transaction fees. You're talking pennies or fractions of a penny. You guys should be very, very thankful you're in the space right now and you're absorbing this information, because this could make you very, very wealthy or very, very well off depending on your financial situation. Last but not least, Dent finally Well, they made a comment on Twitter. They're not too active on Twitter, but they have over 100,000 followers. The Dent roadmap 2021-2022 has been released. It says time has come to create DentNet, the dedicated blockchain to disrupt the telecom industry. As you all know, we are very bullish on any tokens that are involved in the telecom space, particularly Dent and Telcoin. Dent being used for eSIM technology. You can trade your unused mobile data on the Dent platform. Telcoin being used for the unbanked for international remittances. So say goodbye to MoneyGram. You guys can use Telcoin, and ladies, can use Telcoin to do your transactions even if you don't have a bank account. Very, very epic. Tel and Dent. We're still waiting on that 4.0 app release, which we have not gotten yet, but they have released the white paper. I highly recommend you guys go and check it out, because if you are invested, it's very, very good to know exactly what you are invested in and why you are invested in. Dent eSIM to be the first with local breakout, working hard on solutions to decentralize the traffic of the Dent global carrier network. US, Mexico, South Africa, Singapore, Australia, Dent Europe. They got the Dent decentralized infrastructure. They're doing the Africa charity project together with Basic Internet Foundation. Kind of go into how everything works, some key milestones, etc. Go take a look at this stuff. If you guys are invested, it's definitely worth your time to know exactly what you're getting into. Key milestones for the first half of 2022. DentNet. Launch Dent Mainnet, the world's first decentralized telco infrastructure powered by eSIM. As mentioned, no longer will you be having to trade out your SIM cards and doing SIM card swaps when you go into other countries. It's all going to be done by the eSIM on your phone. As far as the Dent apps and marketplace go, they're looking to release the app 5.0 version for iOS and Android next year, as well as launch Dent Team video collaborations. What else they got? The Dent Earn 3.0 for users. We're still waiting on the 4.0 app for this year. And they have a ton of other hardware research that they will be releasing this upcoming year. So it should be a very good year for Dent. I wish they were a little bit more active on their Twitter, but they, I guess, are really only putting out the most important information, which, it's their own business and that's what they want to do. But definitely check it out. So with that being said, that will wrap it up for this edition of the Encrypted Capital Recap. If you guys like what you heard, please drop us a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're already a member on the newsletter, definitely check out our Discord. Definitely got a lot of good information going on in there, the 24/7 live chat. So check us out. We'll catch you guys all in the next video.